Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom, the why, what, and how. We're on section 3 of my book, The How. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and I love to work on games, so talk to me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, Roxem, studio-nemo.com, or I'm about to talk to you more about Duolingo and how I use it in the classroom.
Duolingo. It's the best way for you to learn another language. Duolingo!
And we're still on chapter 22 of my book, Using Duolingo in the World Language Classroom. We're on part 8. We've been talking about leveraging Duolingo in your classroom without having students sit behind computers. So again, my philosophy is students spend enough time behind the computer screen. Class time is game time. So I talked extensively about quiz trade, both in this playlist and in my GLAD Guided Language Acquisition Development playlist. But this is how I use it specifically with Duolingo. And once again, I think if I could just point at a couple of techniques that give me the most bang for the buck, I would say TPRS, Teaching Proficiency Through Reading and Storytelling, and quiz trade, which is a Kagan technique. Really 5 minutes of time, and I can skip entire chapters of the textbook. So I go to Duolingo and I choose the lesson I want and I click on it and I do it and I get screenshots from it. I also go to the guidebook because there's also example sentences there, and it just tells me, hey, this is what I need. This is what I'm going to focus on for here. This is the right lesson because I don't want to waste my time doing the wrong lesson, right? And I'm all golden because I've done everything. Duolingo, fingers crossed, we'll have this back. This is the curriculum guide. At the moment, they're working on some big things, and so these stepping stone paths are in flux. Like maybe this is going to get moved to the earlier level, and maybe this one's going to get moved like 4 stepping stones further. So at the moment, they've shut down the curriculum guide, but I have uploaded them all. Not all of them. I uploaded Spanish, French, Japanese, Mandarin, and Korean to the Duolingo Educators Network. However, just keep in mind that the position that they appear in the curriculum guide might not be the position that they're appearing for you right now as Duolingo works on some of their big projects. And I talked about their big projects earlier, their listening exercises and their little mini games and stuff. So things are kind of in flux. And so for right now, they just kind of shut that down so it's not that confusing. Okay, so here's some screenshots. Remember last time I said, I chose the wrong screenshots because I didn't have any characters. Normally the characters are there. Okay, so here's some screenshots. This was the original sentence and I covered it over so the students can't see it because I want them only working in French in this case, okay? This was a listening one. I cut it off as I took the picture of my page. What I do here is I write down what the sentence is and then I just give that to the students, okay? But I covered all the English. I like it when I get the characters in a funny pose. I like that a lot. It takes me like 4 to 5 minutes to do a lesson. Normally, when I'm taking screenshots, maybe 7 minutes. Okay, it doesn't take that long to do the screenshots. And then I cut and paste all the screenshots, all the sentences into a Word document, and I make sure that they're big because, like I said, it's really quick to just go straight across. And this was just words I cut out, but it's really quick to slice straight across. And that many, many years of doing this, I realized, I don't want to spend too long cutting them out. So each sentence is really big. Here's one where, I use Active Inspire. That's what I'm using right now to make all these little presentations for you and everything. And so it's really easy for me to just print to PDF. And I can say print 4 per page, and I've got them really big. And so when I cut them like I'll just slice right across here, and I'll slice right across here. And I don't really care that there's blank spot here. It doesn't matter to me because, you know, the it's easy for me, and if the kids want to, they can volunteer their time to cut them out neatly for me, but mostly it's just you've got the cardstock in your hand and that's good. I'd also like to suggest, if you choose to do this, talk to us about it at the Duolingo Educators Network because chances are someone else has already done this. And we're more than willing to share our resources with you. I mean, that's what the Duolingo Educators Network is all about. We know our time is limited. So why should you have to reinvent the wheel? So come talk to us at the Duolingo Educators Network. All right, so I spend about 5 minutes cutting out the sentences or the words because, like I said, I just cut straight across the cardstock. Tell the students to come up and grab a card from you, or fling them up in the air and say, grab one, kids, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter if you have some cards left over. Okay, so if I have, next year I've got classes of 36 students apiece, but on the years when I only have like 30 students in the class, if I print out 36 cards and I only have 30 students and I have 6 left over, it's okay. I just hold on to those 6. Okay, so it's quiz, trade. So one student randomly walks up to another and they either have the second student read the card to them or answer the question on the card or tell them what the card means or whatever. And then however you want to do it so that the students are trading information. Okay. All right. And then the second student shows the card that they have and the same thing, but backwards. And then when both students are confident that they know what's on each card, then they trade. Okay, they trade the cards and then they walk off and find another person to talk to. If they both don't know, they come to me. Okay. Yeah, so far they never go to another group, but they come to me. Okay, and I give them hints and everything. But the point is they can't walk away until they're an expert on that card. You can tell them that they need to make a sentence with the word, or they need to put the sentence into a conversation or answer it, keep them in the target language. Okay, and once they've traded, they split up and find new partners. And then after each card has made it around the room, maybe 3 times, about 10 minutes, then I call time. All right. And yes, you do need to, I'll talk about it in a minute, but you need to watch your students to make sure they're not in little bubbles because sometimes Fred only wants to talk to Bob and he's not willing to get out of that bubble. And then I just take all the cards and I put them in a Ziploc bag and I save them for another game, save them for the next day, save them for the next year, whatever. My cards have lasted me forever. I think that's all I have on this page. Okay. This is not the time to go sit in a corner and read a magazine. You be walking around the room, and better yet, you have a card in your hand and you go walking around in the room and you can quiz trade with your students. All right, this is your formative assessment. This is how you know how quickly your students are getting it. This is how you know how good their pronunciation is. This is how you know what grammar they're tripping up on. Okay, and you don't ever have to speak English. You can just, if they say something wrong to you, you just repeat it back to them. Maybe with the rising intonation, or maybe you repeat it back the correct way. And it's communication, so it's all good. All right, in our next chapter, I've got more ways to leverage Duolingo in the classroom. Hope to see you there.